Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's having a wonderful week so far. We are going to get started. We're going live on our platforms as well. We started a new month as well. We can continue on blending tolerance, intolerance, the mechanism of it. And we're going to also be moving into cooperation. So you guys get to experience the vastness of the realms of possibilities and the way the mind works. Ultimately, anything is possible. It's about going beyond yourself, but knowing how to do it. Each and every one of us get to the point where we don't know what to do. We don't know how to go further. But it's about integrating the knowledge that you're learning here and learning how to apply it and really develop yourself, develop your awareness, and become the person you want to be. Very first thing I want to focus on today is just a little bit of breath work. Again, your frequency, your energy is how you feel, and the way you feel is what you attract. So I'm going to do groundwork, and as we do this, hey guys, as we do this groundwork, we're going to learn how to identify the feelings and learn how to bring yourself to a more enhanced state of being and consciousness. So we're going to begin with doing breath work. We're going to mix breathing with intention and bringing in color into it. So as we begin, you want to imagine that you're grounding into the celestial, down through your body, and into Mother Earth, right? So we're going to bring in breathing. Breathe in through your nose. You're going to take 3 breaths. 3 breaths. Move into the celestial, down through your body. Breathing in. And then you're going to bring it out through your mouth. Breathing in. Move that awareness into the celestial. Move that color down through your body, moving down into Mother Earth. Then breathing out through your mouth. Again, breathing in through your nose. Move that color and that awareness up into the celestial, down through your body, down through Mother Earth. Then breathing out. Now we're going to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Breathing in. Again, mixing color. See this blue, purplish energy, diamond light moving in into the celestial, down through your body. Moving down into Mother Earth. And then breathing out of your nose. Intentions should be gratitude, gratefulness, appreciation, joy, happiness, health, wealth, well-being, rejuvenating, regenerating, clearing, cleansing. Breathing in, moving into the celestial, down through your body, down into Mother Earth, sending love, gratitude, gratefulness to your body, Mother Earth. And then breathing out through your nose. One more time, breathing in through your nose. Send in love, gratitude, gratefulness, appreciation for this connection down through your body. Happiness, health, wealth, well-being, gratefulness, appreciation, joy. Breathing out through your nose. You want to enhance your vibration. You want to raise more of it, you release it. What you release is what you attract. You cross your hands. And as you do this, you switch hands. You're going to enhance the feeling, enhance the frequency by changing your body. You do this technique, grounding, take you a couple of minutes, and you've cleared your biofield, you've cleared your energy field, and you're going to feel much better. I would consider doing this as many times as you need throughout your day, just to bring you back to your home frequency. Home frequency is your diamond light frequency. When you are down or low vibration, or you can't take your actions, it's because your frequency has dropped down to the programs, to your beliefs. And whatever you're feeling is what you attract. So it's a very key component to realizing your goals, your visions, is keeping your frequency up, keeping your vibration up. We're going to get started here. And I'm going to jump into cooperation, then I'm going to toggle back and forth with tolerance. Cooperation is the beginning of all organized effort. As we stated in the first lesson of this course, Andrew Carnegie accumulated a gigantic fortune through the cooperation of efforts of a small group of men numbering no more than 20. There are two forms of cooperation to which your attention will be directed in this lesson. First, the cooperation between people who group themselves together or form alliances for the purpose of attaining a given end. Second, the cooperation between the conscious and the subconscious minds, which forms a reasonable hypothesis of man's ability to contact, communicate with, and draw upon infinite intelligence. To one who has not given serious thought to this subject, the foregoing hypothesis may seem unreasonable, but follow the evidence of its soundness, study the facts upon which the hypothesis is based, and then draw your own conclusions. Let's begin with a brief review of the physical construction of the body. We know that the whole body is traversed by a network of nerves which serve as channels of communication between the indwelling spiritual ego, which we will call mind, and the functions of the external organism. This nervous system is dual. One system, known as the sympathetic, is the channel for all these activities, which are not consciously directed by our volition, such as the operation of the digestive organs, the repair of daily wear and tear of the tissue, and alike. The other system, known as the voluntary or cerebral spinal system, is the channel through which we receive conscious perception from the physical senses and exercise control over the movements of the body, nervous system of the body. This system has its center in the brain, while the other has its center in the ganglionic mass at the back of the stomach, known as the solar plexus, and sometimes spoken of as abdominal brain. Cerebral spinal system is the channel of our volitional or conscious mental action, and the sympathetic system is the channel of the mental action, which unconsciously supports the vital functions of the body. The cerebral spinal system is the organ of the conscious mind, and the sympathetic is that of the subconscious mind. Now, in going over these two sections, we're talking about two areas that really dominate our reality, become a part of our reality, entangle with our reality. Both of them are dual, and both of them have memory. Thus, the cerebral spinal system is the organ of the conscious mind, and the sympathetic is that of the subconscious mind. But the interaction of conscious and subconscious mind requires a similar interaction between the corresponding systems of nerves. And one conspicuous connection by which this is provided is the vagus nerve. This nerve passes out of the cerebral region as a portion of the voluntary system, and through it, we control the vocal organs. Then it passes onwards to the thorax, sending out branches to the heart and lungs, and finally passing through the diaphragm. It loses the outer coating, which distinguishes the nerves of the voluntary system and becomes identified with those of the sympathetic system, so forming a connecting link between the two and making the man physically a single entity. So here we're going into the root cause of our bias integration of what we know and what we do, what you say and what you really do, how you think and how you really act, conscious, subconscious. I'm going to invite Ricardo in here as we combine this information from the vibration to the logical, to the body, to the organism, and combine this information so you have a better understanding. Ricardo?
Hello. Hi, Abraham. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Again, this is Napoleon Hill, right? You're reading?
Mm-hmm.
Napoleon Hill? Yeah, I'm always surprised by the complementarity of his logic. Yeah, he's offered a nice framework, a nice framework within which to start to continue, but from another point of view, start the research between vibration and information, the interaction between the two. It's not the answer. It's not the solution to the question, but it is a nice framework within which to keep on doing the research. That's one thing. The second thing, he's got another way of addressing. It is not wrong. It's correct, but it's different. It's a different way of addressing. That's why it makes it a nice framework for the research I'm talking about, the connection between vibration and information. It's a nice framework to understanding the behavior, the difference, the distinctions in the behavior between the autonomic nervous system, and the somatic nervous system, and the central nervous system. You got all these different systems with which we've wanted to understand how the brain works. No? And then what he's talking about belongs to what is called the peripheral nervous system, which is somatic and autonomic. Somatic nervous system is talking about our control of striated muscles, the muscles that are voluntary, the 640 muscles in which we say and do things. That's somatic nervous system, the classification, And the autonomic nervous system, the non-autonomic nervous system is handling the other two groups of muscles, the smooth muscles and the cardiac muscles. That's why they're so important. So as we come out into the world, through the brain, my hypothesis is that we do have to come out into the world through the brain, because the brain is the one responsible for coordinating and becoming the puppeteer of those 640 muscles, which is the somatic nervous system, controlling them. And we also have to come out by the puppeteer controlling the cardiac muscles and controlling the smooth muscles, which are as important as the previous ones. So if you want to talk about controlling or having an impact over the smooth muscles and the cardiac muscles, you are talking about controlling the autonomic nervous system. Your autonomic nervous system has a direct influence over your cardiac muscles, the heart beating, and all smooth muscles. Every other muscle that allows any organ, any gland, any viscera to do tweak. And that's what it does. For example, your bile is produced in your gallbladder, right? But it's not enough for it to be produced. It's got to get into the system, out of the bile, the gallbladder itself. So how does it get outside? Your pituitary makes all kinds of hormones. Okay, great. They are generated in the hormones themselves. But how the hormones are generated inside the pituitary itself? But how do those hormones get out into the blood? How does the bile get out into the blood? One thing is that they are produced, and then when they're secreted, In order for them to be secreted, you need some sort of mechanism that does tweak, does I'm using an onomatopoeia here, does contraction, that contracts to squeeze the product, to squeeze the humor, to squeeze the liquid outside of the place where it is produced. The squeezing on the pituitary, the squeezing on your gallbladder is done by smooth muscle. See what I'm saying? Yes, that's very, very important, because those hormones, those cytokines, those things that are produced in these organs, the viscera, and in the glands, must go into the bloodstream, must go into the lymphatic system, so that they can do their job. Remember, the body is purely a molecular machinery. The brain is purely a molecular machinery. As you can see, it is extremely, extremely complex. And it's amazing we've come a long, long way to understanding it. But the understanding we have of this machinery is only, it becomes like a bed upon which we can begin to understand how is it that the mind and the brain interact. You see, so this long, long journey of understanding the nature of the molecular machinery has just begun to become a bed, a framework, this understanding, on which to stand and start researching how is it that the mind, the brain, and the body are connected. How
And
is
interacting, communicating together.
Yes, yes, definitely.
And it is a cooperation, and that's where Hill's going to, and he really dives deep into this. And,
Got it.
And to go into it is very scientific, and is going into the properties of the mind, the functions of it.
Yes, indeed. So that's why I say I'm always surprised by the ineffable logic of this man, no? How it very nicely fits in your ineffable logic and my ineffable logic. See what I'm saying, no?
Yep.
It's very, very nice. It always gives a different perspective of the same thing.
And what we're looking at is identifying the way the complexity of the human mind and body, and the way it organizes itself to continue to organize itself. Let's think about, and I'm going to touch a little of this daily. It's a lot to go into, and here in a little bit he moves into the brain, properties of the brain, the operations of the brain, and then objective, subjective control, and the alchemy of the body itself, subjective mind. Subjective mind.
Yeah, that's a very important subject matter to understand subjectivity versus objectivity, and the role of the brain and the mind in it. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, the cooperative dual nervous system.
Yeah.
Your thought.
And it was nice. His introduction to this framework is very, very, very nice, because it begins distinguishing between the interaction between your conscious and subconscious as cooperation between the two, and the interaction between you and other people to put themselves together towards a common goal, which is also a cooperation. So he's distinguishing very nicely a cooperation which is more social and a cooperation which is not. It's more individual inside of you. No, the cooperation between you and other people to make alliances and stuff, and the cooperation between your conscious and activity and your non-conscious activity is also cooperation. No? That's a nice distinction.
And we do it. We do it as we communicate. We do it as we walk, we talk, we move. We're literally a walking dynamo. It's very amazing, the human body. But distinguishing the movement, so we can understand how we work and other people work around us. Whenever we're communicating, how we communicate, how we talk heart to heart.
Be very, 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 guys, Carla, Lori, be very, very mindful that you are coming out into the world through your brain. Yet the brain then must connect itself to your body. So in order to do that, it must be the puppeteer of everything that happens in your body.
So one mind.
So it means as you come out into the brain, okay, you that are spawned in your mind. You're not spawned in your brain. You're spawned inside of your mind. I call that the tenant, the guy that was spawned in the mind. It's made occurred in the mind. I call it the tenant of the mind. Well, that tenant, that is the resident of the mind, must come out into the world through the brain. And as you do that, what you do is you imbibe your brain with direction. That direction arises in the mind, not in the brain. But the brain needs a direction that has arisen in your mind. You see, that's why the concept of action is so important, because action carries with it direction automatically. It's just the nature of how it behaves. Action connects you to desire, desire being that impulse inside of you that knows you are more than what you have become. It's a connection to your self-reference. You see what I'm saying? The language changes, you see, and it moves you to a different state of understanding and research of yourself. You see, the language has changed. So now I move back out of there, and then I say, okay, so action, you see, is the way we have to impinge upon the brain, because action carries direction. And as you impinge upon the brain, okay, then you are giving that direction to the activity of your neurons. You're actually impinging your direction that you carry with your action into your neurons. That's how you're coming out into the world. But you see, that has a gigantic mystery still embedded in it. And I've been doing it for 50 years. I still don't understand the damn thing. It escapes me all the time. But I realize that I'm getting closer and closer. And one of the mysteries of that thing is, how the hell do you connect information and vibration in that thing? I mean, Abraham talks about it like indistinguishable, like, yeah, it's easy, I got to figure it out. No, he lives it. So in that sense, yeah, he's living it, so he makes use of it. But you want to put that into words to understand and show the people, that's a different story. That's where I'm located, no? And understanding how this vibration and this information actually work, and how do they impinge about the direction that action gives to the brain, and how does that impinge on the autonomic nervous system and the somatic nervous system, the somatic nervous system allowing you to come into the world through your striated muscles, but the autonomic nervous system allowing you to come into the world through your cardiac muscles, you see, and your smooth muscles. So all the way around you look at it, you're coming into the world through your muscles. But you see the enormous difference there is. If we track down how you come out into the world through your striated muscles, then we're talking about what you say and what you do. Because that's what's publicly observable when you use striated muscles. Nothing else. What you say and what you do.
What you say and do is coming from the solar plexus normally.
Oh, no, I can't go that way, okay? I can't. Not if I talk scientifically. There's over nine plexuses.
Yeah.
They all do different things, no? And the solar plexus is like,
One of them.
by the mystics, the old guys, they're all mystics, they used to say that, yeah, the solar plexus is the most important one of them. But if you start and you look into each one of them, you say, no, there's a lot more than just, picking up one and say, yeah, that's it, no? Like Descartes said that the pineal gland, was the connection to the soul. Hey, come on. And other people more modern are saying, yeah, the thymus. You see what I'm saying? You're trying to locate something that is non-local.
Correct.
So
what I wanted to go with, in the solar plexus, that's normally where it starts. When you start to kick out your goal.
You kick what? The what?
When you start to remove a goal or you're afraid to take action. Normally,
beautiful.
You start off in your root, sacrum, and solar plexus that have the most stringent control over the body.
Okay. But you see how easily he's jumped? You see? Yeah. But that's not the same thing as having solved what is the actual connection. How can we describe vibration and information with regards to what he just said?
Yeah. It's got to be a feeling, an emotional feeling that is going beyond the normal operating system. The desire has to be an impulse that your subconscious is okay with dealing with. Conscious, subconscious must no longer be duality. They must become one pointed. And
yeah, that's what the word cooperation implies, huh?
Yeah. When there's dualism, it's because you still have not coerced, you still have not made the subjective mind more open to change. You could think of conscious, subconscious as male and female as well. The female won't open up to talking to you or being open to be convinced to coincide with you unless she's been wooed. The same thing with the subconscious mind of the body. Not until you have integrated, the logic has to be also subjective, and it's got to be open to change. The lower part of your body has got to be open and willing to change before you take change. And when majority of people resist being changed, they don't resist change, they resist being changed. So learning your body is principle to go and beyond yourself, because there's a low part of your nature and a higher part of your nature. So the lower parts of the energy systems in your body are the ones that are in control of the body. They have more control, shall we say. They are all integrated, but have more control over what you do.
That's a very nice, yeah, again, don't be fooled, guys. Don't be fooled. Abraham makes it sound easier because he somehow his ineffable logic allows him to put this into perspective that allows the person who's listening be able to do something with the information, not just like in my case. I leave you immobile. I don't allow you to move because I'm talking only about information that has to be really grasped, really profoundly grasped, so that you can do something with it. It doesn't leave you immobile. With Abraham is not that. He gives it in such a way that you can take it up and then you do something with it. See what I'm saying? He does not leave you immobile. And as a matter of fact, he demands more of you. Put it into motion, because the way I said it to you allows it to be put into motion. But don't be fooled by that, because the thing is not yet being understood scientifically. Is a palpable, what's the word? Pragmatic. That's it. It's a pragmatic understanding that allows you to use the words and do something with it. In my case, it's more difficult. My approach is not as pragmatic.
Yeah, well, you're studying the connections and the correlation between each network.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One is for the study of it.
Yeah.
Break it down and understand each section of the mind and body.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's true. That's very true. So I want
any questions.
I'd like to, because I take up all the microphone. I don't want to do that, but I just will you please write this? I'm going to dictate it to you, okay? Because I think it's a nice declaration that conjoins, that groups, that integrates what we are saying in just a couple of words. I think that's why I find it nice. Okay, so I'm going to read it out. Okay, so the highest objectivity is to be found in the deepest subjectivity. Okay? Only if you understand it that way. And I suppose there are other declarations that complement that one, no? But only if you understand it that way can you think of ending the duality. You see? Which is an entire, my God, physiological and vivencial process that takes place. Yeah, sure. Just a second. The highest objectivity is to be found in the deepest subjectivity. Man, that's very important. Okay? And we could talk about just that declaration and pick it out and pick your brain, pick that thing out a couple of hours, no? The highest objectivity is to be found in the deepest subjectivity. Man, that's really powerful, okay? And ponder about it. Please, every so often ponder about it, reflect on it. Because it's talking about all of you. Not only, all Marilu and Angelo and Carla. No. I'm not referring to that, although that, of course, that's also included. No, I'm talking about all aspects of you. Everything about you is absolutely contained in that declaration. The highest objectivity is to be found in the deepest subjectivity.
That's the only way you'll know thyself.
Yes, sir. Very good. Yes. See, no? You see what I'm saying? That's another way of saying the same thing. But you see, know thyself, and then you'll know the universe. That's what the Greeks used to say. It's complementary, you see, but it gives you a different aspect of information. than the one in this other declaration. But both
Yeah,
are
you
true.
find the objectivity and the subjectivity. And what is it really? How is it relative? Here we go into relativity and creativity, reasoning.
This you know all the words that Abraham is using: creativity, reasoning, cognition, intellection, intuition. All these other words he just mentioned, okay, are part of one gigantic, omni-arching concept. One word: perception. And perception, believe me, I've been pursuing that sucker for 50 years, and it's a bitch. It is
Perception,
extremely difficult to understand.
everything entangles with everything. We jump on one, we jump on another, jump on another. Perception, relativity to who?
Yeah, it's an amazing thing, no? Yeah. And when
Perception,
you look up,
relativity to who? Right?
when you want to answer the question that Abraham just asked right now, then you got to introduce three distinctions immediately. You can know the knowledge, you can generate knowledge and understand the knowledge itself. You can understand the act of knowing, the processes involved in generating that knowledge is the knowing part of it, you see? And the third thing is you can understand the knower, the guy, the operator, the sentinel, the observer involved in the process of knowing. How is he involved in the process of knowing? And then the result of that is the know, what you know, the known. But you have an overarching thing, always there, the unknown. You see?
So here, let's. I know this may be a little advanced for some of the guys here trying to understand what we're getting at, and we're going to make it more practical
Yeah.
so that you guys can know how to apply it. We're going over cooperation, and what does cooperation mean to each and every one of us? You're cooperating with your perception all day long. You're going to move into this world. Some of you may have already started, depending on your perception. If your perception was, I need to work hard, or I enjoy working hard, and I want to earn a lot of money, and my perception is geared towards value production. You're getting up at 5 a.m. and you're going to work at 6 a.m. Some of that perception or that paradigm, that program would work from 6 to 6, doing 12 hours a day to generate more money for time. As that's happening, their subjective part of the personality is moving into a system, and it's called value production. There's nothing wrong with it, but you normally don't break out of it. If you're working for a salary and you're still in the value production, anytime your time is being paid for what you do rather than what you create, you're stuck in a system called value production. And that is cooperation. So you're still cooperating with the law, your law, with the perception you can use. So why is cooperation an important factor in understanding consciousness? Because you're the one that's moving through it. You're moving through those memories to dial into reality. And as you move into that group knowledge, that group mass theory, that mob theory, you literally have to experience it in time. What are you experiencing in time? Perception. And duality. Perception and cooperation. How does this work? At some point in time, maybe now you don't enjoy what you're doing, could be, maybe you still do, but you want more. You're not getting enough. We all get to that point. That's duality. When awareness becomes aware that it's expressing less than what it could. Duality. Who did that? The observer himself. perceived himself beyond what he's doing. Wants to cooperate at a higher level. Where you're at today, maybe at some point this was better than what you had before. The observer became aware that more was possible for him or her and wants to cooperate beyond what it's doing. Then the lower self has to be controlled. The lowest part of your personality, subjective mind, whatever it is at the time, whatever you're tolerating, in its effect, are coming from prior memories you're using. So if you look at every time I am addressing consciousness or perception, it always goes back to memory. You're using the memory from the masses, and your awareness shifts, it grows, it develops. You go back to the awareness of the masses, and then you may change a little bit, and you get a little insight that there's more, that more is possible. And then you go back to what you know. Or you change a little bit, and you get a little bit better results. That's higher sense of being, becoming aware that it's more than what it's doing. So at one degree, you're always becoming more aware that there's more and that you could achieve more. And then you're going back to a memory. You go up here and you receive intuitively a memory from beyond, and you go back to the memory of what you know. So here's this feedback relationship between you, your results, an intuitive factor, making you more aware, maybe getting a memory from beyond. And here's this dualistic action-reaction. With who? Ricardo said, the highest subjectivity is found in the deepest subjectivity. It's in the subjective mind. So that conscious subconscious becomes dualistic because it's becoming aware of what it is and what it is not, all at the same time. What is becoming aware of what is not, and what is being seen? Who is that? Who would that be? When you go back to moving into your own awareness, who's becoming aware?
May I?
Go ahead.
Right now, for example, podemos desglosar, you say in Spanish, podemos desglosar, we can pick it apart, what Abraham is just saying, and make it perhaps a little bit more digestible, okay? Let me put it this way. What is subjectivity? What is it? What is objectivity? Well, what is it? Okay, a very simple way of defining that, it isn't wrong, it's just simple, is that subjectivity and objectivity rely on somebody else's perception of you and your own perception of yourself. Again, see, perception? See what I was saying about perception? It's a bitch. It's very difficult to catch it because it will slide between your fingers. Once you, oh yeah, I got you, and whap, disappears again. Okay? Anything that is publicly observable, what you do, what you say, is publicly observable. Yep. Is objective. Anything that is publicly observable. He just farted. That's publicly observable. He just threw some snot through his nose. That's publicly observable. See what? Okay, got it? Yeah. Whatever you do, what you say is publicly observable. If there's somebody there, somebody else there to perceive it, to detect it, to register it, to comment about it. Publicly observable. That's objective. Like I say, it is simple, but it isn't wrong. Privately observable, that is subjective, because nobody else can do it but you. If you want to observe, if you want to look at yourself, then it is privately observable, that which is subjective. But then, if you want to observe it, You can. Why? Because there is an observer inside of you. There's an observer inside the mind. It's one of the 18 different aspects of the tenet that is given rise into the mind by itself. So you are that too. You are the observer. You are that. You are. But there's a lot more to just being an observer in you. A lot more. And that's what's implied in what Abraham is saying. So you just go there. I am the observer. I am the center of all subjectivity. You see? But now, what's the status of you as an observer? How are you relating to you as a knower, as a process of knowing, and as a known? How are you relating to that? How is your relationship to consciousness? How is your relationship to being an agent or having a position regarding anything? See, it becomes very beautiful. I love that stuff. I worked under 50 years for that. That's why I love it. You see what I'm saying? We can break it down, what Abraham was saying right now. But you see, you enter the field of complexity. So to make it simple, subjectivity implies the observer which is not publicly observable, but he is privately observable by you. Got it? You see what I'm saying? An objectivity that which is publicly observable. The outside place where everybody gets together. Oh yeah, I see you. I see what you do. I see what you say. And you say the same thing of other people. That's where we all meet and interact and transact. You see what I'm saying? Yes. I hope so. Okay, so now connect what I just said, that distinction, in that simple way of defining it, to what I said before, the declaration. The highest objectivity, is to be found in the deepest subjectivity. Okay, but I just said that objectivity is that which is publicly observable. And the only thing that is publicly observable is what you do and what you say. So what the hell do I mean by the highest objectivity? Because saying it that way is directing to your attention inwards, not outwards. But the way I just defined objectivity is directing your attention outwards. What you do, what you say, what is publicly observable. So what does that mean then? Am I contradicting myself? You see what I'm saying? Okay? And that's a beautiful contradiction, which is not. But it's a beautiful place to begin a very interesting research, investigation. Take Aurelius, Abraham's son. Take Gabriel, my son. The difference in age. Aurelius is what, 4 years old?
Yes.
Okay, my son is 17. He turned 18 in a couple of months. Watch this. Aurelio and my son are still coming out into the world. They haven't finished the process. Aurelio will finish it when he's about 21 years of age, and so will my son. And then from there on, some other process will take over. Some other, very different. But he finished coming out into the world. From that moment on, Aurelio and my son will keep on repeating the programs they acquired. They won't be aware of that, but they will keep repeating it. And there will be consequence of that repetition. But right now, until they're 21, they're still being programmed. Look what I'm saying. They're still being conditioned. So under that type of regime, what is objectivity and subjectivity? Inside of you. Inside of you. Not in terms, what is publicly observable, but inside of you. What is it? And this is where the concept, the very beautiful concepts come into being, into the panorama. And it is thinking, thought, feeling, sentiment. When is it that what you're thinking is objective? And when is it that what you're thinking is subjective? That is a freaking beautiful philosophical question. I still haven't answered it. I have to be able to really understand what's going on behind the scene in a child as Aurelius, in a child as my son.
What I implement is suggest, and which always brings light to any corner of the room. It doesn't matter which corner of the room you want to look at. It doesn't matter which religion you want to publicly observe, subjectively, objectively. The one thing that always brings that manifests itself as all being, all knowing, all seeing is spirit. No matter where you're at, energy is. never created, never destroyed. When we can bring the child's awareness or an adult's awareness that they're a spiritual being experiencing a physical reality, we can suspend them in time in subjective, between subjective and objective world to nobody, no thing. This is the space where we become anything we want to become. We're not our name. We're not the culture. We're not the timeline. We're not the year. We are pure light. It's up to you to redefine who you are by recognizing the recognition of being divineness with one, being a pure light. Then you're no longer subjective or objective to any world, but therefore you can create your own light, create your own reality. Everything is truly divine in nature and fluid. It is the idea that we grasp and hold on to that we cannot let go of. When
See,
you recognize,
Abraham is using right now vocabulary, okay? You see, this guy is incredibly pragmatic, okay? And he's using vocabulary, look at that, look what I'm going to say, that is describing the part of that declaration that has to deal with the deepest subjectivity. That's where you have to go
unity.
to find the highest objectivity.
Yep, the unity of oneness.
Yeah.
Here, if we can, the better we can take an adult, a child, to that spiritual awareness. What is your contribution to the world? You are a contribution. Your soul, your spirit is contributing itself through that body for this time period we call life. What is it you want to bring to the world? Everything after that is perceptive. Subjective, objective control. Somebody will control, and ideas, memories will control reality if you do not distinguish them and if you don't remember who you are. We become subjective to the memories. And earlier, I gave you the key earlier. Memory is a movement. Memory is GPS. You're going to the mass memory, or you're going to go to your own perceptual memory, what you want to create. Change perception, change reality. The masses use the same memory to go in the same direction. You used to think that you would normally think that if everybody's going in that direction, if 97% are going in that direction, surely they must be right.
Yeah.
It's been proven for centuries. The masses go in the wrong direction. If you can see 2 or 3 going in that direction, go in that 2 to 3%.
Abraham.
Yes.
What you just said. Let me ask you a question. I want to see how you handle that, the answer to that one. And how all this you just described, this aspect you just described, this thing that is right in the middle of it, where you can actually jump out of this digital, this binary thing between your subjective and objective and go all the way in beyond the problem of duality and
Which are both controls. Both
Yeah.
controls.
Yeah. Well, my question is, how is all that you just described regarding subjective and objective and the transcendence of both of them, are they connected to memory?
You have to have something to use.
How is memory objective? How is memory subjective?
They both impinge and hinge, control. Wield. They both wield.
Oh, right. Got it. Beautiful.
Spirit must have something to wield. So it takes an emotion. With an emotion with no direction is what? A non-entity. Emotion without a direction is a non-entity. How many ideas have you had and they're gone? Why? Because you did not put it in a body. If you have a vision and you cannot put it in the body, it's a non-entity. If you got a vision and you can't act it out, it's nobody. No thing. It goes back to the ether. It goes back to etheric, or you want to call it the field, or you want to, whatever it is you want to call it, goes back to energy. When you embody it, it has a body. Now it can become somebody, something, somewhere, sometime. When spirit leaves the body, it's nobody, no thing, no time. Body goes back to earth. What is it using? Memories. We are literally walking, talking memories. A movement, a direction, a directive. Some people are stuck with the memories from the past. They're just interacting in that manner, just moving through time. we're at our time. We've got 4 or 5 minutes. Does anybody have any questions, thoughts, takeaways? Again, we're doing this every Tuesday. Give you guys valuable knowledge. Give you guys the opportunity to listen to what we're doing. We're teaching how to go beyond the self, how to go beyond the program, how to reprogram, how to rewrite reality, set goals, and achieve goals. So we do this every week to give you value and let you see the classes that we do Monday through Friday. And we have special programs dedicated to reprogramming and setting and achieving goals. Does anybody have any questions? Thoughts, takeaways?
I just realized something in what you just said. It's really great, beautiful. That action in and of itself, by itself, cannot be wielded in and of itself, action. But what you can wield is what action brings along with it, which is direction.
Imagination.
And that comes later. I'm talking about a sequence before, all the way to the origin of everything. Imagination, yeah, but it comes later on.
Well, it has to come before the action. You wouldn't move. You cannot move without a direction. So, in the unseen part of your personality, in the inscribe, abscribe codes, those things are working before you go and take action. So it's
exactly, yeah.
It's imagining is connecting inscribe, abscribe programming to give you an algorithm to go and act and behave like. That opened up a whole other dimension. But yes, that's happening without you even being aware.
Yeah, indeed. Now, I've always been working with this thing under the assumption that imagination comes after vision. Vision provides imagination with information, out of which imagination will give it some sort of a meat to the bones.
You're working from the subjective or objective control. Those are duality, because one is already formatting what I know. It's imagining what I know.
Yeah, imagination does that.
It does it on its own. You don't have to do that.
Of course.
You know what to do tomorrow. Everybody knows what to do tomorrow. Everybody knows what to do in an hour from now. That is subjectively controlled by your program. It imagines for you what to do next. You don't have to think. The other one is you have to intervene.
Yeah.
It intervenes for you and it tells you what to do. The other one is a higher consciousness. You have to intervene, and then you have to envision, and then begin to imagine, and then you've got to subjectively control your own mind with your own will. And
that's exactly
to go.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I was talking about. That second part. That one.
These are
vision comes first, and then imagination. When you're talking about inscribed codes, and only then. Afterwards, adscribe and transcribe. You screwed up.
You're already coming from the past.
Yeah, indeed.
The program has entertaining you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hey guys, notice that. It's very important distinction here. So when you're using transcribe and ascribe codes, your vision is already screwed up. It is already determined by your imagination, by the past.
It's already coming.
You see guys? It's important, because if you don't make that distinction, you'll constantly be not succeeding, because you're repeating old visions, which implies an old image of yourself as part of the vision. But
you don't want.
It's already programmed. You see, but the only moment, the only aspect of you whereby you can actually become conscious of the vision that is coming before imagination is when that thing is being produced from your inscribed codes, which connects you directly to your potential and the expression of that potential. Inscribed codes connect you to that automatically. So vision comes there first, there first. It will be programmed, but it is a nice program. It's a program that is not betraying you. On the contrary, is allowing you to become what you already are. Man, that's so important.
Yeah, well, what you're gonna learn more about yourself.
Indeed. And the other one, no. The other one, subconsciously, you already assume you know yourself.
And you become more what you are.
That's really weird stuff, man. Yeah. Wow. What? Holy cow.
Yeah. This is a very, very good ending for you guys. You're either moving from the perceptual distinctions of what your mass programming has given you. You're moving from there. That's your point of reference. That's your centering of consciousness. Or you will center yourself. But this is, again, you have to intervene. You've got to center yourself in a place, view the world from that state, and then you have to entangle with me. You've got to imagine. Now, you've got to create the reality. They're dualistic. One's creating for you, the other one you create.
I have one question.
Yes.
So it was mentioned that subjectivity and objectivity rely on someone's perception of you and your perception of yourself. I didn't quite get it. This morning was very, very, very heavy. I was trying to get as much notes as possible, right? So if that can be clarified for me, I would appreciate it.
You want to go your way, buddy? Which you are much more pragmatic than I am.
Yeah, we don't have much time. Repeat the question.
It said subjectivity and objectivity rely on somebody's perception of you and your perception of yourself. Just a slight, some more clarity.
If I can bring you to a position in time where you're nobody, no thing, no time, nowhere, what are you?
I'm nothing, basically.
Good. And that's where you want to start. If you're nobody, no thing, nowhere, no time, then you are no longer subjected or objective to any control other than your own will. You see that? You're free.
Yeah.
When you're already subjugated, when you're already perception's already been controlled, when you already have precognitive function, when you're already preloaded, when it's time for you to choose a girlfriend, you're already going there. That's already coming. It's not. You don't even have to think. That vibration in the background is already creating a circuit for you to attract that person.
Got it. Thank you. I got it. Immediately, I got it.
Use it.
Thanks. I got it.
We don't get what we want. We get what we are. And a lot of us don't know what we are. We're more than a program. But you've got to understand and know how to apply what we're teaching to recreate reality, manifest a different reality.
Again, perception, you see? And Abraham's taking you, I find difficult to say your name, Josh Sean. He has.
Yeah, you're right.
He has taken you all the way back into yourself. Way before thought appears in the whole system. Way before that, he's taking you there. And that place is a space that you made into a place. And that space is profoundly nothing, yet profoundly at the same time connected to consciousness itself.
Everything. Yeah.
You see, he's taking you there. You see, perception from that point of view, immediately you felt relieved. Oh yeah, got it, yeah. See?
I could have been anything. That's it. I could have been anything. I could be anything.
You see? And then from there, which is for me still a mystery, there's some way that your inscribed code appears, it manifests, that gives you a direction, a specific direction, which you can actually, what can you actually be? What can I actually be? You see, out of so many things, what can I actually be? And that's where the inscribed code comes into existence. It answers that question. And it gives you all the tools you need to be that. But then you got the next stage. Okay, this is what I am. Okay, fine, great. Now you have to enter time. Now you have to become what you are. That's where imagination walks into the picture. When you become what you are, imagination is working right there to support that, becoming what you are. But if down there, deep, you are not able, you lose access to your own inscribed codes, then you have no inkling of what you actually be. What can you actually be? Therefore, you become what you're not. And that's misery.
You move to the ascribed code and transfer.
Yep.
Go back to mass. mentality. You go back to what you know or what you were programmed to know.
Yeah, yeah. Bummer, huh? And the brain partakes of that. Oh man, I'd love to talk about that. How the brain partakes.
That's where
of
the duality comes in. When you move into the world as what you don't want to be, and you don't know why, that you don't like what you have, but you keep getting what you are.
Yeah.
That duality is because you're becoming aware at the spiritual level. Is your consciousness, higher consciousness, is aware that it's acting, behaving as it does not want to.
Mind the word spiritual, okay, Josh? Mind the word spiritual. When he's using the word spiritual, is in terms of naming that space he took you to where you found relief. Yeah, yeah, that's spiritual. Okay, that is spiritual. Yes.
Pure light, pure
Yep.
diamond light, not controlled, not already
100%.
subjugated, not already programmed. Pure diamond light. Could have been anything,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it still can't. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I'm insisting on that. Please use the word where it belongs. It belongs to that, that space he took you, where you found relief. You remember the East.
That which is unknown. Look at the child.
Yeah, it's
Oh, he's
really,
so perfect, so beautiful. Oh my God. It's still not programmed yet, completely. Not by the environment, not completely. It could have been anything. You know that when you see a child, little baby born, it could be anything. Wow. Me, oh my, it could be anything. Wow. How beautiful. Pure.
contrast that sense of spirituality. I just used the word. Okay. What I'm insisting again is use the word where they belong, so that you can see yourself actually where the word is taking you. You see what I'm saying? Yes. It just reminds me of something that happened to me. It's a tiny anecdote. When I was doing neurofeedback, I was earning my living doing neurofeedback here in Lima, and there was this lady that came because she couldn't sleep at night. She had insomnia, so she wanted neurofeedback to fix her problem. So we were doing that, and afterwards, I got a hunch, and I asked her, Do you consider yourself to be spiritual?" Look at the question. Do you consider yourself to be spiritual? She looked at me and immediately she snapped. She says, "Oh, yes, I go to the cemetery twice a month." That's what she calls spiritual. Go to see the dead of her family and to put some flowers on their tombs. That's what she defines spiritual as.
Which already had a placement for her. So that was a pre asserted code that was spirituality.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
A section of it. Her awareness is more defined in that, and to that degree of spirituality. We're at our time. Thank you guys. Past our time. Thank you guys. For everybody that's on Facebook and the platforms, we're going to cut off. We're going to go into our TM. Our TM is something that we train people of how to drop into the subconscious and reprogram. Get into this, get involved. If you want to learn how to start deprogramming, we've got a tool that we use. It's the best tool that I found so far that allows you to have access to de-stress for the day and actually de-stress information, programs, impacts for a lifetime that have happened in a lifetime. Thank you guys. We're going to cut off transmission.